and things are only 2 minutes long and all that. I mean, if you can actually catch a child's imagination to sit and listen, this
absolutely. I think storytelling is just so valuable, isn't it? And we don't do enough of it. It's all screens, but you know, just having, you know, everybody sat around and listening, rapt to.
And some people just
imagination. With storytelling, they use their imagination, which is really important.
And their imagination about somewhere they know, you know, like the Gower, you know. So hopefully that will be really good. And so come along free in the afternoon. But in the run-up to that, we're making surfy shell bracelets from Friday through to Monday. Little bracelets with some shells on. So, yeah, just, you know, a bit of a sea feel.
Children love doing things like that, don't they?
Any kind of handicrafts, really, I think. You know, we just...
Do you have to collect the shells first, or...?
I think we've got some shells. You can bring your own along if you know, if you're having a walk along the beach first, why not? Yeah, but we will have some if you can't.
Can you say the rhyme? I don't know if I can anymore. Can you sell seashells on the seashore?
She sells seashells on the seashore. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad. Thank you very much.
I must ask, how did the Pirates weekend go?
Pirates went brilliantly, thank you. Yes, we had like nearly 3,000 people walking through the doors, and it was just full of, you know, pirate hats and little cutlasses, and everyone had a really good time. So
it sounded exciting.
Yeah, it was great.
And it's so great because it's really linking the museum into people's everyday lives, which is so important.
And that's actually part of our remit, is to, you know, to connect with the community. So it's great that we do that. We have lots of different groups coming along from different sections of the community. So
there's so much there. I mean, you couldn't see it if you went every day for a week. No, so the sort of pattern of popping in for different things it's just really great.
Yeah, lots of people do sort of come by and say, oh, you know, I took some photos of somebody in our Visions of Industry exhibition one day because they just looked so perfect. And I said, can I take your photo? And they were back a couple of weeks later. They were like, oh, you know, nice to see you again. So we know that people do come again and again and get something different from it every time, which is fantastic.
I took a party of German visitors in one of these torrentially wet afternoons. I thought, what am I going to do with them? We went in and first of all, they said, well, we don't want to see this. We're from the Ruhr Valley and that's what we've got. But then they started looking and they were really fascinated at the parallels with their own
because we're part of the European... Oh, I'll get it wrong now.
It's a European initiative.
Industrial Heritage Trail. And and that links with the Ruhr Valley. And and it's just a big conglomeration of people from all over Europe, really, that have similar backgrounds to our own.
Well,
so they are fascinated.
First being a bit sniffy, but then fascinated. So, yeah, no, I love it. One of my favourite places.
Oh. Good. Well, if you want to find out more about it, we have a quiz coming up.
Oh,
so I'm going to give you a couple of tests, and then...
Are we supposed to answer?
Yes.
Oh, they blank.
So I can't remember the answer myself.
Have we got a crib sheet?
I've got a sheet. Don't look. So, what date did Swansea Canal open?
Oh, it was in the 19th century. 18.
Sure.
Oh right.
Oh no.
1906. It's a new cut.
Yes, anything?
Oh, I'd say just before. I'd say before.
I don't know.
Right, I'm going to, because we're stumbling over that one. So 1798, apparently.
All right.
Wow. So earlier than you both thought, really.
Yeah.
Now, this is one, Liz. I don't know your age, and I don't know Gainer's, but I know Gaynor is similar sort of generation to me. So, what plant was shown on the old threepenny bit?
What?
What plant was on the back of the old threepenny bit?
No. I thought it was...
You're very close. You're very, very close.
What was that portcullis thing that was on it? I don't know.
It was the thrift.
Oh,
very appropriately.
It was thrift.
It's some kind of plant.
Oh, it looks like a thistle.
It does look like a thistle, I think. So there we go. And so our quiz is sort of lots of fun facts about the area, but we have our head of museum likes alternative music, should we say.
Okay.
So we have a music round, which will be unlike any music round you've had before.
Right.
And because we have a museum full of them, I've brought you a mystery object.
Oh,
All right.
Because we have a mystery object round.
Okay.
So I don't know whether you've seen one of these before. I will hand it over, have a little feel, and see if you can tell.
It's a bull ring.
It is.
A bull ring. Where you put a bull's nose?
Ah, that's the farmer in you speaking, isn't it?
Oh, gosh.
It's not a bracelet.
It's brass.
Right.
Bang.
I don't know. Put us out of our misery.
Okay, it's called a manila.
Right.
All right.
And it was currency for the slave trade.
Oh, my heavens.
And
Heavy.
made, a lot of them were made in Swansea, and for some reason, Holywell, don't know why, but North East Wales and Swansea were sort of the centres. And they used to sail over to West Africa with these, and you could trade that. 50 of those would buy you a healthy adult.
Oh, my gosh. That is so heavy. 50.
I know. Can you imagine how heavy the boats are? Yeah, and then when you get to the other end, you didn't have cars or anything, so you'd have to like drag them by cart.
That's really quite a sad story,
incredible.
isn't it?
It is sad, but it's incredible that actually Swansea was connected so much to that, because you think of Bristol really and Liverpool sort of connected with slave trade. We were doing this. We were making the currency for everybody, which is incredible.
What an amazing link to the slave trade.
But apparently, as well as that, even when the trade sort of ended, these were still being sent out because
they'd taken on a sort of currency.
But they sort of did it surreptitiously, apparently. So you'd send these, but then you'd switch to a Portuguese boat where they hadn't banned the slave trade, and you'd barter the goods there. So these still made their way there, but
so always ways around things.
Always. But also, I think it
past.
shows that we still, because we were still importing things like cotton and tobacco, and you know that slaves were making in America, and sugar, and in Wales. We were using those things and not asking where it came from, which is a bit like today, isn't it? When you go and buy your trainers and you don't think, oh, I wonder what child in what sweatshop made that. So we're still...
But it's incredible, a little item like this, and it's such a tremendous story behind it. A very poignant, very sad story, but but you're right talking about trainers and things. I'm very discerning about where I get my food from, but I don't know so much about clothes. There are one or two stores I won't go into. I'm not supposed to mention them. But other than that, it's very difficult. And if you see a garment you really like, it's very difficult, isn't it, to think?
But we don't think about it. Actually, I was on a farm doing different things the other week, and that was all about where your food comes from. And it is, and all the people taking part in the show said, "Oh, do you know what?
And I think,
next time, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna ask where these."
As a society, we're more informed about that as well. I think it's only just coming to the fore about really the.
Yes, I think unless it's highlighted, we don't really think about it, do we?
We don't, and I think it's so easy to slip back, isn't it? You do it for a couple of weeks and say, I'm only going to get my meat from the butchers where they can tell me the name of the animal, and I'm only going to get my vegetables.
We all get back to our busy lives.
And then you know.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Enjoyable.
Very. Thank you both. And next up, we'll be taking a look at the papers.
We look forward to that, and we'll see you then.
Welcome back to Today on Bay TV. Sorry, my voice has just gone. I'm still Liz Cairns, now I've got a voice again. This is Gaynor Morgan and Jenny Walford from National Waterfront Museum are still continuing to join us.
Yes, thank you for staying with us. I think we're going to have a look at what happened on this day in history.
Yes, we didn't have time earlier because we were enthralled in everything Jenny had to say. Thank you for that as well.
Very welcome.
So we're just going to cover one briefly because I thought, I need to do this one. So on this day in 1943, David Iwan, the singer, songwriter and politician, was born in Brynaman, Carmarthenshire. He was the president of Plaid Cymru in 2003 to 2010, and his paternal grandfather, Fred Jones, was actually one of the founding members of Plaid Cymru.
Didn't know.
So, yeah.
Very important figure in our Welsh national life, I think, apart from giving countless years of entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's...
You know, the song you're about to play that I hesitate to name is...
One of his favourite, one of his best known then for in 1969, a Mawhid.
Let's hear it.
Gobaith fel tân yn un calon, mae hwnnw yn llosgi o hyd. Hwnnw o hyd. Hwnnw o hyd. Gweitha pawb a popeth. Gweitha pawb a popeth. Gweitha pawb a popeth.
Very important.
I love that. I love that. It's one of the...
It is lovely.
Yeah, it's just such a powerful song, isn't it? It's amazing.
I think on a very serious note, we really must remember how much these people have given, because my children, for example, they're very much part of Cool Cymru. They're very self-confident. I look back to my grandmother who didn't want to speak to me in Welsh because it wouldn't improve me. You're very proud of being a Welsh speaker. Yeah. And this hasn't been easily won. You know, I remember back the early days of Cymdeithas yr Iaith and the work they did and the work people like David Iwan did, and some of them, of course, served time in prison, didn't they?
Yeah, but like you say, that's so sad, isn't it? That she didn't think you would help you. And these days, you know, it's such a help. If you're going for any job in Wales, really.
But her school, where she endured the Welsh Knot, was then turned into Ysgol Ferchar Welsh School, named after her farm. So how things come on.
Yeah. So there is a link.
Yeah, but isn't it great that we're so proud now?
Definitely, yes.
Well, we had an event at the National Wool Museum actually at the weekend, and well, last week, and it was a bilingual tale about Roald Dahl, and the head of the museum was telling me earlier, it's like, you know, you had English and Welsh children sitting down, so the English children were learning something about Wales, so hopefully they will go back and say, wow, you know, Wales as a language, didn't know that, and they will grow up appreciating it in a way that, you know, people on Newsnight sort of didn't.
This is what I was going to say.
Well said, well said.
The Welsh Government will reach their target in 2020 and there will be a million Welsh speakers. It doesn't matter how well you speak Welsh, and I think that's important, and that should go across people, that it doesn't matter. It's just the fact that you're trying, and that that fact that you want to speak the language. Doesn't matter. You don't need to be fluent. Conversational Welsh is just as important.
And if you go to France or Spain or something, you make an effort, don't you, to say like por favor and s'il vous plaît and things, even if that's the only tiny bit you speak. But on the whole, people don't come here and try out a bit of the
as the Welsh Language Commissioner Mary Hughes said at a conference I went to recently, she was start with little bits. Start with something little.
Definitely.
Let's take
I mean, if nothing else is coming along brilliantly. It is.
Everybody should be able to sing the national anthem, I think, because I know so many people who can't. You think, actually, just as a starting point, let's get everybody doing that.
Well, so I can't sing at all, so I'll leave that.
My friend actually asked me if I teach her the Welsh national anthem. Yeah, bless her. I was thinking, I'm not singing it, I can say it.
Just say it.
Yes, right, we're going to go into the papers.
Yes, let's do it.
In the Daily Mail.
We can depress ourselves now with the newspapers.
I depress myself when I read it. Oh my God, one, I realised I'm 40, but the headline's Britain's laziness epidemic. Half of adults don't even go for a brisk walk once a month, with over 40s most at risk.
I can't believe that. I can't believe how you can go for a walk without being brisk, but I don't like that headline. I don't like these lazy headlines because, you know, people have very difficult lives nowadays and people are forced into long hours, 0 hours, goodness knows what. And then you have to grab whatever food is going. often sedentary jobs.
I agree, and I do think you're right. A lot of people spend so much time sitting down. I mean, I do. Yeah. We're on the sofa now, you know, but I did do my 10-minute walk here, and I will do 10 minutes walk back, so I've done my bit for the day.
Well, we have a video showing different ways that we could get a little bit healthier.
First, if you use public transport to get to work, you could hop off a stop early and finish the rest of your journey on foot. And once you get to work, don't take the lift, use the stairs. If you do get a break during the day, for example a lunch hour, you could use that time to stretch the legs. And here's another idea: if you're going to nip to the shops, don't take the car, walk instead. And finally, how about this weekend, putting down the tablet, switching off that TV and getting out into the great outdoors for a bit of a stroll. Experts say it doesn't have to be a massive long walk, just get out there and do something.
Easier said than done though, of course,
and if you had ill health as well. Sometimes, like we were speaking yesterday, if you have any type of illness, you're afraid sometimes to do or to exert yourself because you're worried how you'd feel the next day and
that
things.
Is true.
What's going to happen? It's taking little steps. I know it
is
steps, but
yeah, I think it's better than doing nothing.
Yes,
but I always hate it when they say get off a stop, you know, before your stop and walk the rest, because I think, no, I've paid for that journey. There's no way I would do that.
And the rain, great. It's probably
but no, I think that's something they should stop saying, because I don't know anybody who would ever do that. That's just ridiculous advice.
You did walk to work. You walked here just now.
I try and walk, and I do go to aerobics, but you know, and I did start running. I used to run.
That's bad for your joints. Speaking of someone with 2 new knees and a new hip, I think people should really, really look after their joints. You're not taught that when you're young.
Yeah,
and it's
no, it's true. And by the time you find that out, it's too late, isn't it? They've already started to go.
I was brought up on a farm a mile from anywhere. You know, a mile before you got off the farm, and so I've always walked briskly. But I always say, give me a wonderful constitution, but rotted my joints. Well, no, it's fine.
But if you're used to, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's making it a habit, and that is the major thing. Yeah. So, and also when they were saying, you know, you need to do 30 minutes, like 5 times a week, and you think people have such busy lives. You go, where am I going to put my 30 minutes in? 10 minutes? I think, okay, fine, get home. You know, wander around the block a bit. Yeah, that should do it. So I'm actually going to try this one.
When you get back to family life, it's very difficult with 2 parents working, which most people are now. All these mortgages, all this different stuff, and then you can't let children out on their own anymore. I mean, you really can't. It's not safe. The roads aren't safe. Who's out there? You know, it's very difficult to get children into that.
Shouldn't they? So everyone tonight should go home, get their children, and we'll all go for a walk around the block holding their hands. I think You're
going to be the Pied Piper, Jenny, around Swansea.
One hand holding the child and the other hand holding the umbrella.
Watch out for Pied Piper, Jenny. Yes.
It's more about raising the heart rate. So it doesn't even matter, I don't think, how long you're walking for. Just as long as you're doing something.
And as long as it's...
I think that's the thing. It's doing something, even if it's just dancing to something in your kitchen, you know, for 10 minutes, then, you know, you're moving. I
think I'd be locked up if I started dancing in my kitchen.
But we forget, I was talking to some friends of mine about, you know, the amount of calories you must have expended when you were younger in the disco or whatever, like 4 hours straight dancing. Yeah. I haven't done that for probably 30 years, you know.
Think how much you were drinking at the same time. Well, not me.
You're using your calories up, so, you know, I think that's something that must happen.
Dare I say, food for thought?
Yes.
Come on, Liz.
Well, we've had
a good run through the topics of the day.
Definitely. Thank you for joining us for both parts.
You're very welcome. Lovely to be here.
Thank you very much. We've enjoyed your company and we look forward to seeing you after the break.
We'll be meeting fantastic fundraisers. See you then. Welcome back to Today on Bay TV. I'm Liz Cairns and we're joined with Mike Hedges AM and also Sean Thomas, Renal Youth Worker for South Wales Hospital. Sean, can you tell me a bit about what you've been doing?
Yeah, sure. So I've been involved with the Paul Potman Fund. We've been doing a bit of fundraising in order for a group of young people living with kidney disease to go down on a holiday down to Newgill in West Wales. And around 3 weeks ago, myself and 9 people from the Paul Potman Fund joined a bigger group of about 39 people, and we cycled all the way from Paris in France back to lovely what we were hoping to be sunny Swansea, but it was raining, unfortunately.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So then the reason we were doing that was obviously to fundraise. So these young people got the opportunity to go down there, meet some other young people who were their age, going through similar things, and also really show them that they were still capable of being active, despite having a transplant or being on dialysis. And just that, there was a life really beyond being diagnosed with a chronic illness.
It must be very daunting for them, first of all, to start going into exercise and things afterwards.
Yeah,
for the parents.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a big worry, from the young person themselves and from the parents. So to show them really that, help them find what they're still capable of doing, help them find their limits as well, and things that they should perhaps stay away from, is also really important in terms of being able to look after themselves.
Some of the danger, though, parents are going to try and wrap their children in cotton wool.
Yes.
They'll have gone through a long period, won't they, where they knew there was something wrong and didn't know what it was. Yeah. They've had lots of tests done on them. They've done lots of things, and then eventually they found it's kidney failure, and they're sort of struck by how serious it is, and they just feel that they've got to keep their children away from anything at all which could cause them any problems. And I think it's really is important that they go out on events like this in order that they can have an opportunity to be like other children and engage in activities.
Definitely, because they are so young as well, and it must help with their mental health, their well-being. Yeah,
absolutely. I think, and that's a really important side of it, and it can be quite isolating to live with a chronic illness, particularly as a young person or a child, and they're looking around and they're not seeing their friends who are going through similar things to, or they're seeing their friends even perhaps as they get a little bit older, move on to university or, so I guess it's just trying to help them guys, claim back a bit of normality and perhaps start taking those next steps and, taking on a bit more independence, which is another, reason we do these trips is, to if young people perhaps are at the age where they're a little bit older, but they haven't perhaps taken the reins and started, taking their medications themselves, or, managing what they eat, learning to cook, all sorts of different things. So these trips give them the chance to start doing that. It's little steps for some people, but for some people it's massive, and it's life-changing.
Definitely. This is the second year as well. Have you found from the first year that it has helped the children? Have you seen a difference in them?
Tremendously. I think, as an example of one young man who went down, was missing, sometimes he was dialysed, and you're meant to dialyse 3 days a week. Yeah. And as a young person, that's really difficult to do. It's like having a job. It's really destructive to your life. And he was missing, sometimes up to 2 appointments a week. One almost every week. He was missing 1 appointment, and that's really detrimental, to his health. So. When he came down to Newgill last year, I think for him, he had a bit of a eureka moment down there, and the eureka moment being for him, I think, was when we were coasteering, which is jumping off rocks into the water. So it's quite a dangerous one, but a really fun one. And he'd never really been in the sea, and never had been, if he had, he'd never, put his head under the water. Right. And for him, realising that he could do that was a bit of a eureka moment, I think. And from all the different support that he's had throughout the year, as on top of that, he's like a different person. So when he was down there this time, he did everything. He didn't, he didn't hesitate to do anything. And even when, one simple thing was watching him walk across the beach to when he walked across the beach last year. He didn't believe he could walk across the stones last year. So, yeah, it was pretty impressive just to see him happy and loving life. Oh,
you've explained a bit about him and that. Should we have a look at all the other children as well?
Yeah, that'd be great, yeah.
So who are these here?
So the group we saw at the start was the 9 of us who were there. This is, that's Kerry. This is Kieran and I've forgotten. Oh God, I've forgotten forgetting people's names now. This is all going a bit too quick, isn't it?
It is.
But there's also a young lad with us called Kieran, who is a transplant patient.
Yeah.
And Kieran has had his transplant now for over 11 years, and is a shining example of how good if you're staying active.
Yes.
You know how you can still completely live a normal life. And Kieran actually did this ride with us from Paris to Swansea. Wow. So if there's any, kidney patients or people, in general living out there with a chronic illness and they think that you can't still be active, Kieran is a shining example that that's definitely the wrong attitude, and you can continue doing whatever you want. This was the hotel we stayed at on the last night before we left France. It was called the Best Hotel, if I remember rightly.
Was it the Best Hotel?
It was very nice, yeah, it was very nice. This was one of our many lunchtime spots. This was coming across one of the big bridges out in France. I can't remember the name of it. That's Michael, one of the group leaders. And we were all, as you can see, going in sort of pelotons, so you slipstream off each other, which so we very much all orientated around teamwork and things like that. That's the lovely Joanne Popham, who runs the Paul Popham Fund. Oh, it's all flashing by too quick, this. That's a lovely picture of one.
You've all had as
yeah,
well,
absolutely. It was, there was a serious point to it, but it was a really, really good, good laugh. Everybody got along really well. Yeah. It was all focused around teamwork, and a few injuries.
Oh, good grief.
And a few tough times along the way. A few low points where people had to pull each other through. Yeah. But I guess that's life, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
Definitely. It's just amazing though. And was that photo of Kieran then?
No, where's Kieran? If I see a photo, I will point him out again.
You're all smiling, which is lovely.
Yeah.
How much did you raise?
I think we've raised well over £5,000. So a chunk of that has gone towards us going down to Newgale, which I just came back from yesterday, and I can assure you it's money incredibly well spent, and the group got so much out of going down. And then I think some more of it is going towards some different care for kiddie patients in general around South Wales, and even I think there's some stuff with going towards supporting parents and things like that as well. And this is us getting back to Swansea. So that's Kieran there in the orange helmet. Oh, and me just next to him in the blue.
So how long did it take?
So it took us 4 days.
Wow,
yeah. So it was very intense, and something that shouldn't be taken too lightheartedly.
No, definitely.
Myself struggled to find time to do a lot of the training. So it was certainly a struggle, but it's absolutely well worth doing, I think. Definitely. And the money, that we've raised, it'll go towards such good causes.
Yeah. I can imagine the pride as well in all of you, but especially Kieran and the other ones.
Yeah.
To have accomplished that.
Yeah, I think his family, Kieran himself,
yes.
I think he said it was one of the toughest things he'd ever done. And to hear him say that, considering what he has done, he goes to the transplant games, he's been to the World Games, which the Paul Popham Fund, again, have supported him with, and many other charities. And I think for him to, realise that he can do that is really valuable. But for other people to see him do that is fantastic. And it's just a brilliant trip.
Brilliant. Yeah. There's 2 events coming up also. It's the Kevin Johns Ball, which will be on the 15th of September at the Marriott Hotel, I believe. And also this weekend, the bank holiday weekend, is called the VIP Bank Holiday.
That's right.
Holiday night, which is on the 27th of August, and that'll be between 11 and 3.
Yep.
But if anybody still wants to get tickets, they are available.
They're selling out very quickly, but I think there's still a couple left. Again, these nights, they all go towards raising money to support patients around Wales, and it's absolutely essential support. So if people can come and along to any of these events and give generously, and it'll all go back and help support people.
And if anybody did want to get the tickets or anything, how would they go about that?
Then you can go on the Paul Popham website. So if you just search on Google, just search the Paul Popham Fund, it'll come up there. So there's information right there, and hopefully there'll be some contact information for Joanne and the team there.
Oh, that's lovely. It's just amazing what you've all done, and helping transform these children's lives who they're just so brave, aren't they? They are. I don't think people understand, like you said, 3 times a week. It's hard for children to go to school just 5 days a week and they go in and they're enjoying their lives.
Absolutely.
But for a child to have to go and attend the hospital for so long, to sit there, it's hard going, bless them.
Yeah, it is incredibly hard going, and really, you know, it can be really disruptive, like I said, to their education, you know, their whole life, meeting friends, all those sorts of things. So.
Oh, thank you so much both for joining me, and we shall see you after the break.
Welcome back to Today on Bay TV. I'm Gaynor Morgan and this is Liz Cairns.
So now we have a regular feature with Swansea Ramblers. Let's welcome Andrew Morgan and Richard Beale.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It hasn't been a good summer for walking.
Well, we've still been out there enjoying it though.
Have you?
Nothing ever stops
As for the
you.
weather, off we go.
Where have you been?
Well, last Sunday, I led a walk last Sunday around Gower. Unfortunately, it rained most of the time. It's the same walk I did in December to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Gower, the first A1B. But I was hoping, being summer, hopeful, as always, that it would be better. But unfortunately, it's after about an hour or two, the rain came down. Not too heavily, but it did mar it a little bit. And
Did
of
you
course,
find a nice hostelry to adjourn to restore?
well, it's tempting to do that in the walk, but if you do that, you're not going to complete it. But we did at the end. We finished in Skirlage and went to the Monksland and had some refreshment there and warmed up and dried out a bit. So, yeah, it was good.
We were speaking about it last week, weren't we? And we
Yeah.
said hopefully the weather be
Yeah.
warmer. It must have been a bit. It would have been warmer, obviously, than the December.
It was warmer.
It's just the fact
yeah.
that
It was grey to
The
start
rain
with.
was warmer.
Yes.
As they say in Ireland, soft rain.
Yeah.
Showering blessings.
Yeah.
So what have we got coming up?
We've got Park Slip, I think, isn't it, on
Park
Saturday?
Slip on
with
Saturday over near
Dale.
Bridge End, Kenfig Way.
That'll be another interesting walk. And we've got Colin doing
Kilvey Hill
on
next Wednesday. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And where have you been lately?
We've been along Mumbles. On Monday, we did an evening walk and went up on the hill there. And we'll be showing a bit of video later in the programme
Perhaps we
on that.
perhaps you can share that with us?
Yes, because our leader there was actually 89 years old. He'll be 90 next month, and I'm hoping he'll lead us another walk just for that. So we're just going into the introduction now for the video, and you'll see us outside the George in Mumbles. Now, people probably driven along, walked along, but they don't realise that just down the side of the George there and up the hill is a footpath.
All right.
That's quite a steep start. Is that steps?
There they go,
Yeah.
yes, yes. A few people puffing up there.
Yeah.
So it goes up onto Mumbles Hill, we went right across, and now we're down into Langland here.
Oh my God.
Oh, how lovely. Again, quite a grey day.
Well, it's an evening walk, so obviously light levels are dropping a bit. But it's nice to get out in an evening, especially a summer evening. We've tried. Now, this is John, 89 years old, walking all his life. Perfect advert for the
It looks
Ramblers and
amazing.
health and walking.
Definitely, yes.
Benefits of walking. So here we are with 18 people out. There's quite a few
young
people
then
who've
as well.
just started walking. They've joined us for our Monday short walks. And they've come on the evening walk, and some of them are now going to graduate over to a little bit longer, about 6 miles on a Saturday. And a lot of them are just don't realise they're capable of it. People look at a mile and think, I can't walk that. But you can go for a couple of hours, and here they are on top of the cliffs above Mumbles now. So the path that comes out
Stunning.
back of Forts over to Langland, the actual path is below, but this is a path just above that with stunning views, and people just don't realise that path is there. And this is the beauty of the Ramblers. We take people where they've never been before. They know some of the paths, they walk them all their lives, but there's the coast path down below there, but we're up the top having excellent views, and from that top promontory there, this is now a shot just leaving that promontory, and in a moment we'll curve round and you'll see Langland, Caswell and Oxwich, and even Kevin Bryn from there.
I see everything
and the
from a
evening
different...
sunshine just setting in there.
And everything from a
There's the
different
lighthouse.
perspective. That's,
Yeah.
that's what's so wonderful.
People don't realise these resources are there, and we take them there and show them how beautiful the countryside is, even just near a city.
And you might be a bit fearful about going on your own, wondering where you'd end up.
This is the beauty. You just switch off, you just follow somebody who knows where they're going.
Yeah, definitely.
This is the beauty of it.
I also noticed quite a young girl there as well. Was she
Yes.
a relative, but she knew...
The new girl, yes. She'd
right.
been out on the Monday walks,
Yes.
and I was speaking to her and I said, you can do this, come Saturday. Oh, there was 6 miles, I can't do that.
Yeah.
You've been fine, you've gone up that hill, you've walked along, you're smiling, you're laughing with everyone. No problem. This is, the people don't understand what they can actually do and what they can achieve.
Is this the answer to the problem that was aired this morning, where people just aren't walking enough? And they may be walking, but they're not walking briskly. There was some comment that some people only walk 10 minutes briskly in a month.
I know.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean,
It's a mindset. People will drive just a mile or so because they don't appreciate how easy it is to walk somewhere. Sometimes it's easier than parking the car.
Yeah, definitely.
But we take people out. And they have fun, they socialise, they laugh. And they're getting the exercise at the same time without realising it. The main fun is the socialising and being together.
Presumably you go at a brisk pace, or brisk enough.
it's brisk enough. I wouldn't say it's a brisk pace. You know, we're not head down, we're not rushing to somewhere. We're out to enjoy ourselves, to look around. You know, if you want to go on one of those brisk ones, we got them. Right. We do those, but we also do the fun ones as well. Saturdays, Mondays, and the evening walks. Just come along and enjoy. That's really what you want to do.
I think the main thing is to get people out to start off with. Even if they don't walk particularly briskly, it gets them into the idea and they can build up their strength and stamina, really. And that's why we have these easy walks with friends on Mondays.
Yeah.
So
and they can any information they want with regards to the different types of walks, they can, as usual, go on
the Ramblers website.
Swansea Ramblers.
Just Google Swansea Ramblers.
Brilliant. Yeah. Thank you both.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you both very much. Now it's time to welcome our showbiz editor, Keith Milward, to talk Talking Pictures. Shall we see what's coming up?
Coming to Talking Pictures TV, a season of the iconic comedy duo Laurel and Hardy.
Another nice mess you've gotten me into.
10 rarely seen features from the Hal Roach Studios, fully restored for Talking Pictures TV viewers to enjoy. The boys are back on British TV, starting this September. On Talking Pictures TV, Sky 343, Freeview 81, UView 81, Freesat 306 and Virgin 445.
Classic.
Absolutely. They don't come like these.
Oh, they don't, do they? Oh, and I'm showing off my tie.
Where did you get that?
Doc? Yeah. What's up, Doc? Well, we're talking older films, aren't we? You know, so why not? Why not?
Yes.
But yeah, I love Laurel and Hardy, and there's a season coming up now on Talking Pictures. Of course, Talking Pictures are the films as well as the magazine programmes we have on Bay TV. Older films, including Laurel and Hardy, are going to be shown now throughout September. You know, so I know that many have already been saying that they are wanting to record all the Laurel and Hardys that come on the station, including our floor manager Jeff.
Yes, I'm really excited.
He loves all the Laurel and Hardys. I do too. I remember my grandfather loved their work, and I think their work is actually timeless.
Yes. Well, when were they made? We all know Laurel and Hardy.
Well, it was the 20s, really, wasn't it? You know, you think about the Keystone Cops and that as well. You know, but my favourite clip, I found it for you this morning. So have a look at this one. Yes.
On a mountain in Virginia stands a lonesome pine. Just below is the cabin home of a little girl of mine. Her name is June, and very, very soon she'll belong to me. For I know she's waiting there for me 'neath that lone pine tree. In the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, on the trail of the lonesome pine. In the pale moonshine, our hearts entwine, where she carved her name and I carved mine. Oh June, just like the mountains are blue, like the pine. I am lonesome.
I love it. It leads up to the point that he clonks him over the head and he starts singing soprano at the end, you know. So that's the magical moment for me. But there's lots of other films, of course, to enjoy. And top of my list is Loot. This is coming up over the weekend. Now, this is a British comedy. It's 1970 that it was made, but it's still a black comedy, really. It's it's starring Richard Attenborough, Lee Remick, and
all the top stars.
Yes. Let's have a look.
So a big thank you to all our guests today for joining us on the show.
And next on Bay TV, we have our afternoon movie matinee. Today, it's the 1951 crime drama Home to Danger, starring Rona Anderson. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.
Bye.